Hey, how are you? Good to see you again. Now, this is a video version of the test prep for the latest version of the test, which is it's 2020 right now, but the Photoshop exam is the 2018 version of Photoshop, which looks very similar to the last few versions. Okay, now the title, length, and amount of questions. Now the title is ACA, Adobe Certified Associate 101, Visual Design using Adobe Photoshop CC 2018. That's what you're looking for on the test when it asks you to choose which test. It's 50 minutes. There's 13 questions, they're multiple choice and different kinds of questions. And then there's 20 Photoshop tasks that you have to do in the interface. Now, this is from a exam tutorial. And the tutorial is how to take the exam. It's not on Photoshop or anything like that. So they put the exam questions into a window. See right there on the right in the Photoshop interface, and it takes up a lot of space, so you have to open and close windows for almost every question. You'll need to go to the Windows menu and go find the panel that you need. So it's a lot more opening and closing of windows, but that's okay. It's no big deal. It's a much better test than the other one. Sections and timing. This exam has two sections. A section with questions you will answer and a section with tasks you will complete in Photoshop. Now, this first here, right here, this tutorial right here, that's a tutorial about how to take the test. Okay, you read that and then the timer starts. So then you get the questions and then there'll be a section summary. Then the timer will stop. Okay, you read the second tutorial about how to take the second part of the test, the tasks section. And then that starts, section summary, and then requires you to leave feedback at the very end before it gives you your score. Okay, the question section uses standard interactive question types. Okay, read the questions carefully. They're going to ask you to do very specific things on specific layers, and you need to really do that. That's where people get tripped up. So I know we've talked about it before, but it's about being careful when you read the questions. In this example, use the process of elimination. Okay, all those test-taking skills that you've used your whole life, apply them here. Okay, so the question here, just match the term with its definition. Milestone, scope creep, wireframe. Okay, here, a request that causes the cost or timeline of the project to increase. So you don't know that. It's like, okay, a significant event in the project. Oh, that would be a milestone. So you go and drag that one on there, right? A blueprint that shows the information hierarchy. We all know that that's a wireframe. Okay, so then this has to be scope creep. Okay, so that's the process of elimination type thing. So use those test-taking techniques, all the stuff you already know how to do. Okay, and this is in the tutorial on how to take the test. These are the exam objectives. Okay, the exam tutorial. This is what I was just talking about. This is the tutorial that shows you how to take the exam. Working in the design industry, they changed the objectives now, or the goals. They're named different things now. They rearranged stuff, and they made it better, but it's a lot different than we've been looking at. Okay, so this objective covers critical concepts related to working with colleagues and clients, as well as crucial legal, technical, and design-related knowledge. Identify the purpose, the audience, and the audience needs for preparing images. Determine whether content is relevant to the purpose, audience, and audience needs. Key terms here are client goals, target audience, demographics, and accessibility. We're going to look at those terms. Client goals. Okay, what does the client want to happen? Okay, this person is hiring you to do something. That's your client. Either they're paying you or not paying you. Depends on the situation. But what do they want to happen? Okay, as a result of the design, is it an advertisement, a website, a logo? Do they want to persuade the target audience to purchase something? Okay, you're going to provide information like a PSA, like you want to alert people, like the COVID-19 thing. A lot of PSA providing information, and that's what the design of even the slides that the doctors are showing and all that. It's all designed to provide information. Or you want to update the client's logo or brand. Years ago, Target, they rebranded, and now if you see the red circle, you know it's Target. So that's that. Now the target audience, we've talked about this, the people you want to communicate with. Okay, who are you designing it for? Is it a picture of something? Is it an ad? It's a logo? Who are you communicating to? That's your target audience. And demographics are the details about them. How old they are, how much money they make, do they go to school, are they very conservative, are they very liberal, those kinds of things are the demographics, age, gender, disposable income. That's just money you have to spend that you don't have to pay for bills and things like that. Okay, accessibility. Think of wheelchairs and things like that, how buildings are wheelchair accessible. That means they have a little ramp going up. So this is visual accessibility and audio accessibility. It means that websites, tools, and technologies are designed and developed so that people with disabilities can use them. Some people that can't see very well, they'll need more contrast from the background and the text. A site for older people, you want to make the font a little bit bigger. If it's young people, you can make it a much smaller font. So those kinds of things, those are accessibility. Okay, audience needs. The needs or desires of the people you want to communicate with. Pretty simple. Okay, now exam objective 1, working in the design industry. Communicate with colleagues and clients about design plans. Demonstrate knowledge of techniques for communicating about design plans with peers and clients. Key terms: sketches, specifications or specs, wireframes, prototypes, iterations. Okay, change orders, drafts, feedback loop, project scope, and scope creep. Okay, that's not a person, scope creep. It's a thing that happens. Okay. Okay, sorry. Just thought that was funny. Demonstrate knowledge of project-based management concepts. Sketches. Okay, sketches are sketches. Okay, a sketch is a quick and rough drawing. It gives a brief account or general outline. Sketching is rapidly executed freehand drawing that is not usually intended as a finished artwork, but allows designers to quickly visualize multiple design concepts. Sketches are just a quick brainstorm type of thing. Specifications or specs. Design specifications. Detailed document providing a list of points regarding a product or process. Okay, your target audience, those are part of the specs. Your target audience, what are the due dates? What are the dimensions? Is it going to be a poster? Is it going to be a tiny little web thing? Screen, print, or video? Those are specifications, just the details about the project. Okay, wireframes. Wireframes show the information structure of a website. Prototypes are just early samples of what the project is. They're created to test a concept or process. Typically, a prototype is used to evaluate and improve a design. Iteration, okay? Iterative design is where the designer responds and redesigns according to the feedback from the client during the design process. So it's an iteration. You get some feedback like, okay, the person says, oh, I don't want that color, try this color. Then you make it again. Iteration, iterative design. You're responding to the feedback of the client. They say something and you do another iteration of the design. So iteration. Okay, change orders. That's pretty clear. Okay, change order is work that is added to or deleted from the original scope. Okay, we'll get into scope in a moment. Of the work of a contract, which alters the original contract amount or completion date. Okay, the change orders, we need a big change to happen. Okay, so then that's gonna change things up a little bit. So change order is for change. Drafts, just like in writing, your first draft, second draft, final draft, that type of thing. These are drafts of the design. They're much like prototypes. Iterative design. They're all drafts and different ideas, and then you get a final draft at the end. Feedback loop, okay, you know what feedback is. You're getting feedback on your essay, you're getting feedback on something, and then the loop is you fix it. Okay, so you might have done this for an English paper or some other kind of a project where you get the teacher's feedback, and then you go and you make those corrections, those alterations, and then you give it back to them, and that's the loop. Interaction in your product where the user is rewarded with feedback when they perform an action. And feedback loop, when it's regarding an app, it's when the person is using the app, however it is, that feedback from the person using it will go to the designer, and they'll make changes from that feedback. So whatever it is, there's some changes being made from feedback from either the client or the end user. So it's all the same thing. It's just a loop of feedback, understanding of how something's functioning out in the world, and then changes are made. Okay, when you post a picture on Instagram, people view it and are rewarded. Okay, that's part of a thing, a psychology of these apps, with likes and comments making you want to post more. Okay, it's the secret sauce that makes apps addictive. So whatever apps you're using, you're getting some kind of feedback within that app. Then they'll maybe do updates, like how Instagram or whatever, they do updates, and that many times it's from feedback. It's from the feedback loop. Project scope, here we are. The scope, what you can see of it. Okay, the part of the project planning that involves determining a list of specific project goals, deliverables. It's what you're going to give the client. That's all a deliverable is. It's going to be a website. It's going to be a logo. It's going to be an advertisement, something like that, a video. Okay, features, functions, tasks, deadlines, and costs. In other words, it's what needs to be achieved and the work that must be done to deliver a project. Beginning all the way through till delivering it. That's the whole scope of the project. Okay, scope creep. Okay, now you know what the scope of the project is. Scope creep changes the continuous or uncontrolled growth in a project scope at any point after the project begins. So you've got the idea of what you want or what the client wants. You have the scope of it. Then all of a sudden they want, oh, I need 3 versions of that, or I need 2 more versions of that. And so it creeps in, the scope creeps, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So that happens many times, and so you just have to be a little bit careful, and that's what that is. It's scope creep. Okay, colleagues, people or friends you're working with. Clients, the people who hire you to create the design, those are your clients. Graphics include photos, drawings, illustrations, and other visual elements. Those are graphics. They're all anything you can see pretty much besides video. Third party, anyone else but you or your company. Typographic, anything to do with text design and layout. Typographic. Okay, hierarchy, it's just like, think of kings and queens and the hierarchy, that type of thing. Organizing what you see first, second, and third on a page. Or design, headings, subheadings, body text, or body copy. That's the hierarchy of, every textbook has a hierarchy of the design. So that's that. Composition terms. They want you to know these. Rule of thirds, leading lines, alignment, contrast, proximity, repetition. Those are compositional terms for design and photography and other art. Okay, now these are the sources I used to get a lot of that information. Okay, this is the end of this first little section here, and I will see you round 2. All right, bye.